What is going on, everybody? Good morning. Oop, dropped my phone. Sorry about that. We are live, so can't even edit that out. So good morning, everybody. It has been a while since I've been live here. Basically, I was out of town. A tree fell down in my backyard, so I've been out of power. So it's been a bit of a nightmare, but we are here week one, and this is a new segment I'm going to be doing where I do my weekly picks when it comes to Underdog. It's something I was planning on doing anyway, but today's video is sponsored by Underdog, and if you use my promo code TJS on a new sign up, you will get $5, or excuse me, if you sign up and you are a new user, you pay $5 and you will get $50 back in promo funds. So it is something I highly recommend. It's fun to play along with, and I just want to thank Underdog here for sponsoring this video. Obviously, this is my first live ever doing something like this, so that will be cleaned up as well. So what I'm going to be doing in today's video is I'm going to be breaking down my picks of who I think is really going to, hit on those picks that you make this morning. Obviously, being week one, there's no definitive, like, I'm going to pick on this team, I'm going to pick on that team, because we don't know. We haven't seen them play yet. Period. So a team like the Saints, where everyone thinks is going to be terrible, I don't want to go fully in on that and just go, let's pick all the Cardinals we can. I'm going to try to minimize my risk and try to get those guys who, are going to be those winners for you today and hopefully win some money. I like to do two different brackets. I like to do a morning slate and like an afternoon slate as well. And then I like to combine both of them, do a morning and afternoon slate together, and then try to get, a bigger win there. So let's go ahead and start going through some of these picks here. And we're going to start first and foremost in the Tampa Bay Atlanta game here. Now, there are a few players here that a lot of people are taking, like Bijan seems like a good fit, Bucky does, but I'm going to be going with Mike Evans. Mike Evans has always really played really well against the Falcons. Last year, he only played one game against them, and, he did really good. So I really think this is going to carry over again this season. Sorry about that. Him and Baker Mayfield have a great relationship. He's their number one receiver. Chris Godwin is currently hurt, and Emeka Mbuka is going to be stepping into that role. He's a rookie, so we don't know what he's really going to look like. I think Baker is going to try to funnel to Mike Evans, kind of get, his feet wet with a trusted wide receiver and trusted weapon in Mike Evans. So I think that's going to be my pick, and I think that's going to be a nice little, start to the morning with a TD there. Now, this next one was actually brought up to me when I was watching the Pat McAfee show. Apparently Daniel Jones has hit the rushing over for a majority of his career. So let's go ahead. I'm going to piggyback on that. This one, I haven't done a ton of research on. Excuse me. Why am I in New York? Gee, that's how mind blown I am. I want to go to the Colts. Oh, dear God. It's been a morning. So let's jump to Indianapolis here. We are going to be taking Daniel Jones on his 25.5 rushing yards. I'm going to take the over on that. I'm going to trust Pat McAfee on that one. Again, this is the one that I did the least thinking of. I'm just, throwing something out there again. It's week one. We aren't 100% sure. We're going to stick in that game. We're going to stick in New York, though. That's kind of why I went over here. And looking at Malik Neighbors here. Malik is going to be that wide receiver in New York, and I don't see a lot of other options out there. Russell Wilson is not the quarterback that I'm going to trust fantasy-wise, but I'm hoping that this week he can at least get a touchdown. Again, week one is always tough because guys aren't fully ready to go. Some guys didn't play in preseason. Some guys are still battling back from injury. So I'm going to take that momentum and basically try to get the guys that I think, okay, these are going to be funneled targets. These are going to be the guys who are getting in the end zone. Malik Neighbors is that guy. So even though I don't love Russell Wilson, I am going to take this pick and, hopefully do something good with it. And last but not least, this man, I have been hyped about him all off season. I think he's going to be a stud this year, and that is Marvin Harrison Jr. getting a touchdown today. Again, I don't want to lean all the way in saying the Saints are going to be so terrible, but they're not going to be great. So taking this pick right here, especially at 1.17, I really like that. I like this play. I think it's really going to help out my picks here, and it's really going to hit because, again, this is supposed to be Kyler Murray's year. Again, it's something we can be saying about somebody like Kyle Pitts. They're always the players that are supposed to be hitting this year. Is this Murray's actual year to do that? Marvin Harrison has a year under his belt, and I really think this is going to be a day where, he's going to get in the end zone. He's going to show why the Cardinals picked him so high. and this is going to be the day that starts that entire season narrative. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Some people like playing standard. I like playing flex because it gives you that option. If you miss one, you still get something, but if you get all four, it's a much better payout. But we're just going to, we are going to start small here just to try to start building up our bankroll. So we are going to take that at a $45 payout, getting $5 in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, I'm just going to reuse these picks because, like I said, I like to do a big slate and an afternoon slate. So let's go ahead and start creating the afternoon slate here, or we'll create the big ticket and then create the afternoon slate by removing the morning slate. So first and foremost, I have been talking this guy up in my videos. Kenneth Walker, I think, is going to be a stud this season, especially with Kubiak being his offensive coordinator. He loves to run the ball. They are even saying that Charbonnet should actually get some work as the backup, but Kenneth is still going to be that guy. I think he is going to get that goal line work. He's going to get in the end zone. I'm going to take him for a touchdown. No problem. Moving on, though, we are going to also be a Bo Lever here and pick out Bo Nix for 2 over 1.5 touchdowns. He was solid last year. He had a great rookie season. He's got another year under Sean Payton's system. I think he's going to be a stud today, especially against a team like the Titans, who are struggling a bit more. They don't really have an identity. We don't know what the Titans are going to be. They're expected to be a top 5 pick as well. So I think the Broncos, this will be a good setup game for them. Start slow, but, basically it's a good starter game for them. They're going to be able to identify the defense better. They're going to score, and I think the Broncos are just going to destroy the Titans today. It's where I'm feeling it, so I'm going to take that 1.5 higher, and I'm pretty comfortable with that. I'm pretty comfortable with that. So let's go ahead and jump over to another big game, a game that I think is going to be a little more defensive than a lot of people are thinking. These are both good teams, but I think the Lions are starting to struggle. But with that said, the one player I trust here is Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr, he is starting to take the reins as that RB1. David Montgomery's always been there. They've kind of done that 1-2 punch, but I think Jahmyr is really going to take a step forward here, further away from his injury a couple years ago, and now he is going to be able to take that Giants, God, I have the Giants on the brain today, that Lions offense and get those touchdowns. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. Again, I'm trying to minimize risk here today. That's the whole part of playing Underdog, is you want to take the least risky picks and make money. I mean, that's basically the obvious thing, and I think Jahmyr is one of those players. And now we're going to move on. Again, I know I'm wearing the jersey and I've got some bias here, but I am going to take Nico Collins for a touchdown. They drafted Jaden Higgins, and I like Jaden Higgins. I think he is going to be a stud, but again, he's a rookie. I want to see what he has. And another wide receiver is hurt, and we're going to be talking about that here in a second. So basically, it's going to be Nico Collins. And the Rams, yes, they're very good, but I still think Nico's able to sneak through those defenses and get that touchdown because he is a big body. He's a big red zone target. He can also run deep routes as well. There's a lot of different options for him. So even if the Rams try to double team him or, switch him up, things like that, I think it's not going to be an issue for him, and I think he's going to get in the end zone today. But speaking of that wide receiver that was hurt, we are going to be looking at Christian Kirk here. For some reason, you are still able to take his scoring right here, his fantasy scoring. He's already been confirmed to be out. If you literally click on their website, it says ruled out this week. Ruled out for Sunday season opener versus the Rams. Basically free money at that point. So we're going to take that lower because he's not scoring any points. Oh, they did remove it. They didn't remove it earlier. Well, son of a bitch. Okay. Well, that sucks because they didn't have that earlier. So let's go ahead. We're going to do one on the fly here. So let's just kind of look at some games that I'm not a part of because I like doing different games because then you're not, rooting for touchdowns from two different guys. You only have to focus on one. So let's see. Oof. Let's go Green Bay. Let's just look at Green Bay. We're going to take a Packer here. It's just hard because they blocked out Josh Jacobs. Let's see if we refresh, if that does anything. If that refreshes his odds and gets him back. Let us see here. Yeah, okay. So we'll take Josh Jacobs falling into the end zone. I don't have a problem with that. So We're going to do the same thing, $5 for this one. Oh, not 52, although that would be lovely. For a nice little payout here if we do get all 8 correct. But if we miss 1, still not bad. And then if we get 6, we make our money back and then a little sum. But the whole point of the first week is to, you know, build up that bankroll. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to take these big swings and have to deposit more money. I am trying to get those, you know, easy hits, small little wagers to basically get those, that bankroll higher. That's basically the long and short of it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Confirm that. We're going to reuse the players and then just get rid of all the morning games. So get rid of Daniel Jones. Nope. Malik, Marvin. There's one more, wasn't there? Is that it? Okay, that was it. All right, perfect. So then we're going to do this one as well and get it in there. So there we go. That is what I'm looking at today for my picks when it comes to Underdog. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think I'm way off base? Do you think these are going to hit? And if it's, you know, after the games and these haven't hit and you want to make fun of me, go ahead down below. But this is going to be a more regular segment. I'm going to try to do it on Saturdays, but just with everything going on this week, being week 1, dealing with my power and traveling, it obviously came at kind of a last minute thing. So next week, go ahead. I'm going to be doing this on Saturday morning. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification to make sure you get notified to my picks here and when I go live or any new videos. I cover NFL stories, Underdog picks, fantasy news, all types of things. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until the next